friends, welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to build a full stack app with FeathersJS and React plus hooks. You might be noticing I'm wearing the new logo t-shirt. I also have a mug. But yes, today we're going to build an app. I actually don't know exactly what we're going to build, because we're going to figure that out. But first, let's say hello to all the people in the chat. Hello, Shantanu, welcome to the stream. Raul is excited about feathers. Hello, Raul, welcome. Hello, Ryan, welcome to the stream. Hello, Keenan. Yes, and if you look in the chat, I shared a link to where you can submit ideas for what I should build. But essentially, it should have some real-time aspect, and I want to include maps in it as well. So, what do you think? Hello from bed, says Bohan. Welcome, Bohan. Hello, Jan. Welcome. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Spacey. Hello, Matcha. IC Killer YT is asking why React instead of Vue, mainly because it's popular. And the other reason, and the reason I'm deciding to use maps in it as well, because that's also really popular. There's a video I made over a year ago, and it still just constantly gets views, and it's just React plus maps. So that's what we're gonna do today. People like React, and I write React every day. And I want to build something that I want to build in React, so that's what we're going to do. Hello, Andrew Lane. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Aman, who agrees it should be a React app. Again, check the chat. There's a link to submit ideas. Hello, Brooks. Welcome. Aman is asking, is Feathers a framework like Express? So you can think of Feathers as a collection of Node.js modules, including things like Express, and also some ideas sprinkled on top on how you should structure your app and how you like write your app. But I would say it's kind of built on top of Express. We will be using Express, I'll say that. Hello, Infi, who says, I have no idea about React, and I'm probably not the only one, so be sure to explain the advanced stuff. Oh, absolutely, yeah, we're gonna go from the basics. I mean, we're gonna write the app, but I'll explain everything as I go, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yep. Yeah, IC Killer says it's backend agnostic. So in the most recent release of Feathers v3, they actually re-architected it. It used to be fairly coupled with Express, but now it is no longer. I don't know if the other plugins exist, but essentially Express is the package you use to allow your Feathers app to be accessed over REST. However, it may exist or it may be coming soon. You'll be able to use things like Koa or Happy instead of Express. So that's why it says it's agnostic. And it's also database agnostic, which I'll show because we can choose pretty much any database we want. I'm probably going to use Mongo because then we can say we're doing the MERN stack. People like that too. Aman says it's been a while, but I've reworked the whole channel art. Yeah, so I got this new logo, the new intro. Yeah. Hello, Energy, who actually made it. Matcha says nice merch. Thank you. Let me know for some of you, if you look below the YouTube video, is it advertising these t-shirts? Because it should be, and they're pretty cheap. This shirt, $14. You get a short sleeve one, $11. I make like 20% profit on it. So if you want to sport Coding Garden logo, please do. Hello, Merchan. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Gabriel. Hello, Abdel Hamid. Let's see what Impy has to say. So you can think of Feathers like that. Express is like making SQL queries in the CLI, and Feathers is like SQLize. Feathers uses Express, but it makes it easier. That's a good way to think about it. Yeah, good analogy. Hello, the Frost Shade from Morocco. It's 1:37 a.m. Well, welcome. Hope you get some sleep soon, or eventually. S. Ali says, CJ is an excellent teacher and programmer. Build a CRUD with some Auth0 or something. Real full stack. Appreciate that. We are going to use auths because we're using Feathers and it has it built in, so we'll do that. Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the stream. Abdel Hamid said, is there cross-site scripting in your YouTube chat manager? No, there's not. And it's because I'm using Vue, which automatically escapes inputs. Even so, yeah, it's not. You can try. And actually, YouTube will stop you because YouTube doesn't let you submit comments that have less than or greater than signs in it. So, yeah. Hello, Amado. Welcome to the stream. Hello, John, who says, what a nice surprise finding the stream. Welcome. Yang says, love your live coding tutorials. I appreciate that. Keenan is saying, I don't see any ad. Do you have an ad blocker on? If you do, that's fine. Leave it on. But for those of you that don't have an ad blocker on, you might see some t-shirts for sale below the video. Hello, Felix. Brian says, hello, CJ. Hello, Brian, who says, I got a job as a developer in Node and React. It was possible thanks to your tutorials. That is awesome and great to hear. And congratulations. That's awesome. Abdel Hamid is asking, what is the URL of my store? Let's figure it out. So if we go to the video that's happening right now. That t-shirt. Actually, I think it might literally be teespring.com/coding-garden. Yeah, here it is. teespring.com/store/coding.garden. Look at all this wonderful merch you can buy. I will say, I literally get like 20 cents from anything that you decide to buy. So if you buy it, you're only kind of supporting me. If you, so I would only say buy it if you want to like rock the Coding Garden logo. That's what I'll say. But if you're looking for other ways to support me, ooh, Imphy does have a, maybe because you're a trusted user. I know it has blocked people from using less than and greater than before. But better ways to support me are through Patreon or direct donations. But if you do want some merch, check out this. You can also check out merch on redbubble.com. And again, I get like 10, 20 cents from every sale. So it's really only if you want to rock this awesome merch. Oh, and new stickers on Redbubble. I uploaded the CJ emojis. I am going to order some of these. I'm just waiting for my other Redbubble order to come in because I ordered a bunch of stickers because I just want to make sure that they cut them in the right way because I've ordered sticker packs like this before, and sometimes Redbubble doesn't cut them the right way. But if you search for Coding Garden on Redbubble, you'll see stickers, and then if you go in and click my name, you'll see all of the other stuff that I have up there too. Cool. Awesome. Young says, anyone interested in Gatsby.js? I should probably look into it at some point. I haven't built anything with it. John says, I would love to see you kick the tires with .NET Core. It's a lovely place to be these days. Cross-platform, open source, and fast. So my first job in industry was doing C#.NET. And pretty much like right when I left that industry and started doing full stack JavaScript is when they open sourced ASP.NET Core. I was actually at the Microsoft Build conference where Anders clicked the make public button on the ASP.NET Core source. But yeah, so here we go. Everyone's trying to cross-site script. It's curious that it's letting you because it didn't used to. Hello, Rolando, who says, hello, CJ, you're great. Thank you, Rolando. Oh, Koi is saying, you'll see the t-shirt ads if you close the chat. That's good to know. Aman is saying, a possible React Native app in the future? Maybe. Maybe. Motivation Maxed Out says, yes, I managed to do my groceries and come back in time for Super and watch CJ. Welcome. That's some hot merch. Thanks, Danielle. Yeah, somehow YouTube is letting these less than or greater than signs. I don't know why. But as you can see, it's not trying to render that, so I'm not vulnerable to it. Kat is saying, I only get 20 cents per shirt. It's because I set it that way. So on Teespring, you can set how much profit you want to make. And I wanted to make the t-shirts as cheap as possible. So I put the lowest amount of profit, and that created an $11 t-shirt, which I think is awesome. Yeah, because you can get this shirt for 11 bucks. Yeah, I don't know if it is trusted users. I really don't know why you all are able to send less than and greater than signs. Like even mods didn't used to be able to do that. Yeah, super weird. Okay, I'll send this link one more time, but you can go to this URL and submit an idea for what I should build. Because I don't know what I'm going to build. So I know the technology I'm going to use, but I kind of need an app idea. So we need to decide what to build. It should include some sort of real-time aspect, and it should include a map. Those are the only constraints we have right now. So we have a Pokemon Go app, maybe a GPS-based game. That's interesting. An app like DoorDash. So DoorDash is food delivery. It'd be interesting what we would do with that. I don't know what we would be delivering. We could make up like a fake food delivery service, but yeah, interesting. Live streaming video and real-time video chat. That's a little too complex, and I don't know how it would involve a map exactly. Andrew is saying, I'd like to see the front end of the chat app you are making. I mean, this is the chat app. It needs work. This absolutely needs work. But this is it. And the code is on GitHub. If you go to the Coding Garden GitHub organization, you'll see the code for this. It's called Live Chat Manager. It's pretty basic right now. Where is the ISS right now? I kind of like that. So the ISS is the International Space Station. And I think they have an API, which will tell you it's, I think it's coordinates above Earth. International Space Station current location. There it is. Latitude, longitude. That would be cool. We could have a map, and it could show the space station moving across it in real time. This doesn't involve really any sort of like login or anything like that, but I think that's okay. We could still make use of React and hooks. And then on the back end would essentially turn this API, which is not a real-time API because it's just a one and done request, because you make the request and you get it back and then you have to make it again. And looking at the docs, it says poll rate. So please note that there is an inherent uncertainty. A single client should try and keep polling to about once every 5 seconds. So what we could do on the back end, we could have a FeathersJS service that hits this endpoint every 5 seconds. And then once it has an updated value, it'll emit that to any client that's on the web page. So that's doable. I like that idea because it's doable in like a couple of hours. This doesn't have to turn into a multi-episode stream. Yeah, video uploading and streaming, I think it's just too much. We could do it, but I would want to plan it out. We would have to figure out like what services we're going to use for hosting and streaming, but yeah. Jacob is saying a simple RPG. So, it's not real-time strategy. What is, role-playing game. A simple role-playing game. It's a different kind of app with the stack. So some sort of role-playing game where you're on a map and there's some real-time aspect. That's another interesting one. I like that. A live feed of emojis used in tweets and displayed on a map. That's also a cool idea. So I feel like there was an API. So when Tony and I built the save the emojis.org, maybe is it just save the emojis with no dashes? There it is. Tony and I made this website a while back. But if you go to the stats page, this actually reaches out to an API, and that API tells you the frequency of a given emoji in Twitter tweets. And part of Save the Emojis is we got the emojis that are used the least, and we're showing them here so that you should use those emojis. But which means there's a, oh yeah, there it is on the left-hand side, emojitracker.com. Epilepsy warning. Epilepsy warning. If you have epilepsy, look away from the screen. But this is essentially real-time updating of tweets on Twitter account of the number of emoji uses. I don't think this has location data, but maybe we could get it. I don't know. Let's see. A private social media site that enables all of Coding Garden subs to log in and share ideas and topics. This is actually in progress. I would say this is essentially kind of like the Coding Garden community app that's being built. That's like a future version where people can log in and it'll be like a forum, but that's in the works. An online marketplace like Fiverr. Maybe something where people can claim sections of a map and somehow like gyms in Pokemon Go. So I'm not totally familiar with the gameplay in Pokemon Go, but yeah, we could come up with some sort of game where like you draw a square on a map and your actual location has to be within the map, and then you get points, maybe like a capture the flag kind of thing. I don't know. Something you can use to set up or locate local coding meetups, sort of like a looking for group app. Coders can specify a meeting place, a time, and a language. That's also an interesting idea. So I use meetup.com, and that's where my all the info about my meetup is hosted, the one that I host, Denver Vue.js meetup. But if you search for meetups, I don't think it shows them on a map. So that could be an interesting view, because we could say, okay, we want 10 miles within Denver that are tech meetups, all upcoming events that match that. And so look at all the events happening tomorrow night. I guess there are not many tonight. But then for any given event, if you go to it, it does have an associated location here. So we could actually have a map that has all of the events upcoming on it. I like that. I just don't know how real time it could be. Like it could essentially auto update the map as new events get added, but you won't really see the real time aspect on it. Josh is saying make the chat manager with feathers, but I want to use a map. I want to use a map. A real-time app that displays Snapchat-like short videos of people saying, I can't see it. Hello, friends around the world. That's cool too. So on literally on the map, well, like you say, like record my video, it then uploads it and puts a dot on the map, and you can click it and see that person saying hello, friends. That's also really cool. But I did build the guest map, which kind of, I mean, it doesn't, you can't upload a video, but there have been thousands of people that have gone to this website. It takes a second to load because the backend has to spin up. But lots of people have gone to this site and added a message with their location. And once it loads, we'll see all the dots on the map. Cool. Let's catch up on the chat, see if anybody has any interesting thoughts or ideas on this. Bohan is saying shipping to Europe would be an additional $20. Well, so I think like Tspring has, I believe they have Europe-based manufacturers, because I also got to set the price in euros as well. So you should see, because I don't know if it will. Hello, Josh. Welcome to the stream. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was a little yeah, I've called dinner or supper before. So I said super, but yes. Motivation maxed out, made it back home for supper so that they can watch Coding Garden with CJ. That's cool. Andrew says, I meant the front end of the FeathersJS chat app. Oh, yeah, I still need to do that. But I wanted to do something else for now. Yes. Hello, Harsh. Welcome to the stream. Yang is saying some sort of local social web app. John says real-time lightning strikes with emoji. Ooh. Lightning strike API. Does that exist? Aries weather. The Lightning API endpoint provides access to global lightning strike data. Huh. Up to 250 lightning strikes can be retrieved in a single query. Please note, use the skip parameter. We'll pull the next 250 strikes. That's cool. Infi is saying, how about a very simple text chat only Discord clone? Yeah, but I wanted to have a map on it. I guess it doesn't need to have a map on it. We could do it without a map. Yeah. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Matcha, yeah, is that where the tractor emoji came from? Yes, because at the time when we made the Save the Emojis website, the tractor emoji was the most underused emoji. So we wanted to up the stats by using the tractor emoji more. Yeah. Okay, Danielle is saying, was thinking for doing on the go, on the spot meetups, like a flash mob for coding. So you're at a place, you say it's happening here now, and then anybody that's looking at the app will see the thing pop up and they can go to that place. Interesting idea. Yeah, so hey, at this coffee shop, at this location, come join me. Hello, David. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Omar. Keenan's saying, for the DoorDash app, I meant an app for a merchant delivery service, live orders and driver driving to the customer. Yeah, so yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be food. It could be really any kind of delivery. Yeah, so a map as in Google Maps, similar to this. Yeah, and here it is with with all the dots on it. So I built this one a while back, but essentially every dot on the map is just someone that dropped in and said hello. There's Harsh in Canada. There is a fanatic swimmer in the middle of the ocean. They probably spoofed their location. So I want to build something like this, but real-time enabled. Yes. Kevin is asking, what are we building? I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. So if you scroll up in the chat, there's a link to this poll. You can submit ideas if you have them. I want to make sure that I'm not missing any incoming ideas. Okay, how about this? I hope I don't hurt any feelings, but I'm going to archive the ones that I don't think that I want to do today. That doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It just means that it's not something that I want to do. Okay, so live streaming, I'm going to call that out. Maybe something Pokemon Go, we'll figure that out. An Uber clone that shows cars moving in real time on a map. Yeah? Web scraping, a website, and feathers. But how would you do that in real time? I mean, we could scrape the data to show on a map, potentially. Yeah. Andrew's saying, I'd like to see the front end of the chat app you're making. Oh! Yes, and that's what your comment was. Incoming. Not today, but soon. Where's the ISS? That was a good idea. Yeah, we're not going to do a video uploading. A live feed of emojis used in tweets displayed on a map. This one will kind of only work if we can find location data about those tweets. As I mentioned, this idea is very similar to the Coding Garden community app. An online marketplace similar to Fiverr. But how do we put it on a map? And how is it real time? It's an interesting, like, all of these, like I said, they're cool ideas, but not necessarily something I want to do today. Yeah, claim a section of a map, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, I guess we could do something, this idea, which is similar to the video idea, but you pick a point on a map, take a picture, and then it puts a dot on the map and you can see that picture. That would be interesting. Not gonna do it though. Locating meetups. Yeah, and it is a good idea, Josh, to make the chat manager with feathers. Maybe I'll do that. Not today, but one day. Yeah, there's the showing short videos on the map. A basic GPS app, so tracking position and counting distance. Yeah, it would be hard to test though, because like it's not going to be a mobile app. It could be web-based. It could still work on a phone because it could have access to location. But in terms of me building and testing it right now, I can't really move very far, so we wouldn't get very good GPS data. Yeah, we'll check out the API directory. An app that shows the quality of life data for a city. Yeah, I've seen, I think it's called like Nomads or a Digital Nomad or something like that. Maybe this is the one. Move to your best place to live and work. I want low income tax, clean air and water, cultural activities, low crime, near the mountains. Find a job, remote work, car free, less traffic. All right, show me my cities. Yeah, this is too much. I don't want to do that. Yeah, what happens if I just search for Denver? Denver, Colorado. That's cool. But where's the real-time aspect? We need real-time. Split the world into squares and generate a 3-word address for each given square. Doesn't have to be that many squares at development stage. Okay, and so I think this is for the like the kind of like the Pokemon Go one, or not the. Someone mentioned about like gyms, so you essentially could like claim an area on the map. Interesting. Maybe elaborate on that in the chat. Map of TypeScript using usage kappa? No. Crime report. Yeah, that could work too. So if someone reports a crime, it like instantly pops up on the map. Instagram, but on a map instead of a feed. That could be cool. Yeah, I would need to find an image hosting service. I guess Firebase offers a free one, but then if too many people start using it, I'll start getting charged for their image uploads. We could use Imager. Not even, is it Imager? Yeah, Imager image uploads, because those are free. So maybe, just maybe. Yeah, so you take a picture, and then it just puts a dot on the map. I kind of like this one. I kind of do, which is very similar to what other people mentioned about, like it's similar to the Snapchat one, but instead it's just images. Let's do that. Oh, we could make a just like a dashboard that has weather, news, calendar. You could call an Uber. That's pretty cool too. A baby birth report app. So like as babies are born, something pops up on the map. A risk game using Google Maps with CJ versus someone else and viewers join as an army. That is intense. But that would be cool. It would technically use a map and it could be real time. I don't really know the game of Risk though. I know that you're trying to take over certain territories. Yeah. I'm trying to keep this simple, Brooks. Ruled time old wars visualization like World War I or II. I want to do something peaceful. Exercise tracker. Don't know how a map would be involved. Distance between 2 points selected like a flight duration calculator. Yes, but where is the real time? Twitter on a map, no images to worry about. I mean, it's very similar to the guest map that I built. Where'd the tab go? The only thing is, instead of saying hello to me, you're like saying hello to the world. Okay, let's catch up on the chat. Yeah, and that was Snail's idea. It's a cool one. Have just like a general dashboard. Bohan is saying, who is populating the database with lightning strikes around the world? Somebody's got to do it. A meteorologist, I suppose. Josh is saying people can submit, hey, I went there and did this. This is why you should too. And is that the Instagram on a map? I'm leaning towards that idea. Maybe we'll vote on it, but I'm leaning towards that idea. What about a leaflet open source map? That's what I built. Let me pull it up again. Guest map. That's what I built this one with leaflet. So I might use leaflet, but we do have to decide on the mapping technology for sure. John says, thinking up app ideas is hard. It absolutely is. Yeah. The link to submit ideas, Josh got it. Thank you, Josh. The capturing thing could be like a live capture the flag type game or a King of the Hill. Yeah, so like you partition out parts of the map and you get points for being in a particular part of the map. The person that's been there the longest is the king of that part of the map. Then when somebody else comes into that part of the map, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like capture the flag where it's like no one's gaining points at that point. I don't know. The thing about this though is it's really hard to like demo without like faking location data. Whereas like the image upload, if I get this thing working, then I can put the link out there and then everybody watching, at least a few of you, could maybe take a picture, upload it, and it could show up on the map. That could also result in some very weird pictures. So I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to figure out what to do. Trying to figure it out. I could use Firebase cloud functions to purge old ones when you run out of space. Yeah, I mean, maybe what if it's like ephemeral images? So like you take a picture, you upload it, it puts it on the map, but that picture only stays there for a set amount of time, and then it just gets deleted and lost to the world. Yeah. A game where players plant a plant and implement some mechanism of growing, like incremental games. Interesting. Would you plant it on a map though? No. Yeah, no worries, Bohan. +1 for the dashboard idea. 100th chat message. There you go. From Abdel Hamid. What about an app where I can tell the community I need something from somewhere, and someone from the community can chat with me and make this service for me? Also, payment for that, like Stripe. Yeah, this is kind of like, is it called TaskRabbit? Yeah, connects you to safe and reliable help in your, yeah, the convenient and affordable way to get things done around the home. So, this may not be exactly what you're thinking of, but it would be interesting to build. Essentially, someone posts a request for something, like, I don't know, I need you to mount my TV. Ready to book right now. I'm gonna go to my old work location. This is not where I live, don't worry. 1 hour task. Hang a 55-inch TV. See taskers and prices. Look at that. Paul will hang my TV for $80 an hour. What if I do within 3 days? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a map view, but this is kind of like that, where you just request the thing that you want, and then people can say that they might do that. That would be interesting to build, because it would be, I don't know, I kind of like that idea too. Yeah. A social network driven by blockchain. I'm not going to do with anything with blockchain today. Snapchat for maps. MapChat. Yes, because so that's the ephemeral idea. So once you take the picture, it only stay around. Maybe it stays around for a certain amount of time, or maybe it disappears after a certain number of people have viewed it. I like this. I think we're going down a very interesting path. I like it. So image stays for 1 hour, and then poof, people can comment as well on the image. Yeah. Yeah. Motivation says, as a project, you could make an airplane traffic game with a real-time map where everything moves every second. So there's like airplanes flying on the map. Yeah. Snag map. Leaked. Snap map with a Dota 2 map. It's $80 because he'll mount the TV wearing a suit. Yeah, that's great. We were on TaskRabbit and the guy was wearing a suit. I think it's because it's short notice, but yeah. If one person views it, goes, okay, you know what? I don't even, we're not even gonna vote. I've been streaming for already 30 minutes. We need to just build this thing. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a map where users can first sign up and then post an image at their current location. It'll show up on the map, and then that thing will disappear after a set amount of time or a set amount of views. I think that's what we're gonna do. And and what if you can only view the image if you're at that location? Oh. Because then it kind of becomes like a real world thing, where if you want to see that image, you have to go to that location. Yeah. A Snapchat with respect to privacy. Well, if we're showing location information, it's not really respecting people's privacy. Yeah, that's a good point. Random, slightly skew it, put it off by 100 meters or so that way it's not exact. Yeah. Bohan, calm down. Please don't do that. You're gonna get me demonetized. Real-time games matchmaking. You post a request and it's pop up on the map. Yeah, that's similar to the TaskRabbit thing. Okay, I think we're going with Snapchat. We're going with Snapchat. I'm gonna end this now, and I appreciate thank you everyone that submitted an idea. It was great, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna build MapChat. Is MapChat a thing? MapChat, an online-based discussion tool that allows multiple people to interact with a common map. Well, their website isn't very cool. A super simple location-based chat. I don't know. Help me come up with names. I'm gonna create a new idea topic. Let's delete this. What should we name this Snapchat plus map app? Go. Okay, it should be at the same URL. Submit your ideas now. I'm not showing like an admin code here, am I? Hopefully not. Please don't hack my my poll. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Snap map. That's great. That's super easy. Okay. So while you all are suggesting while you all are suggesting app names, I will get this. Let's get like a to-do list going. Yeah. Let's throw in some of these ideas that people had. So randomize the location. Yeah. Let's see. Location scavenger hunt. I feel like this could be like that, because if you make it so that you have to go to that location to see that image, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. Though, that's a totally separate app idea. Like, what if you have different waypoints on the map that you have to go to as part of the scavenger hunt? I don't know. Tinder maps. GeoSnap. Oh, that's a good one. Did you submit it over here? Chat lists. Geogram, GeoSnap. Cool. MapYak, which is, I guess, like kayak. Matcha says you're welcome for... I don't know. Okay, but let's get this going. Let's make a to-do list. So we've decided what to build. We are going to build maps plus Snapchat. And a quick description of what this is post an image at your approximate location. The image will disappear after a set time, after it has been viewed X times. We can come up with other things. So post an image at your approximate location, and then the image will disappear. Did I spell that wrong? Disappear? Disappear? Disappear. Disappear. Help me. Oh, well. Yeah, so it will go away. Image will go away / delete after a set time or after it has been viewed X times. What else? I think that's pretty much it. So this app will have a login, and we'll use some sort of social auth. Let's use GitHub, because most people here have a GitHub account. We could use something else, but so we'll need login. You then need a map view with current location. And then we need to be able to add an image at current location. And in doing that, specify settings. Yeah, this is basically the app that we're going to build. We're going to do it today. I'm not going to stop streaming till it's done. Within X distance to view the image. I like it. Because you could set it as 1,000-mile radius. And then if somebody is within 1,000 miles of your image, they can actually view it. So yeah, I like that. Snap map. Remove EXIF data for privacy reasons. That is a great call. Thank you. This is from John Smith. And if you're not familiar, EXIF data is all the metadata that your camera adds to an image whenever it takes the image. And if you take it on a phone, a lot of times people have location enabled, and the image will actually have the latitude, longitude embedded inside of it, which would negate the point of somewhat randomizing their location. So that's a good call, John. Disappear. 2-piece? Oh. Thank you. 1S, 2-piece. I could have looked that up. Yeah, so I think we'll use Imager upload. I've done it before, and they also allow like, or at least they used to allow anonymous upload. So I don't have to have like a client ID. I think we'll use Imager because then there aren't going to be like any data caps or anything like that, and it's being stored on Imager server. I think that's the way to go. Amana saying let's use Google. Plus, I like that, and it's easy. So in terms of social auth, GitHub or Google, it's going to be one of those two. I don't want to use Facebook. We probably could use Twitter, but yeah, we'll see. Joshua is saying you can make it so only full accounts can submit an image, kind of to prove authenticity of the user and add accountability just in case. Yeah. Well, I think the app is going to require login. So even be able to view any of it, you have to be logged in. And then, I don't know if we'd build this in now, but there's got to be some way of giving a particular user credibility so that we know that they post trusted images. Infi is saying Discord has the worst social auth ever. Hello, Willy Lump Lump. Welcome. Zuzu. Is this the name for the app? Zuzu. So we can set up a radius from 1 mile to 5,000. I like it. So that way, you could post something and someone in another country could potentially look at the image if they're within your radius. So the image will disappear. Can be viewed at a set radius. Yeah. I like it. Omar is saying, use a ready AI to detect if the photo posted does not contain any nudes or violence. That's not a bad idea. I would have to find an API to do that. But I like where your head's at, because I'm sure somebody's done it. Hello Jesus is saying we could add allow the user to select how much you should randomize the location, like min 100 meters, but from there you have to select up to an X distance. I like it. So allow the user to select how much they should randomize the location. Motivation is asking, how do you remove picture metadata, making it something like a new photo, kind of like when you crop another photo. That's one way to do it, because if you crop a photo, you're technically generating a new image, and then it would have no EXIF data in it. I believe there's actually a JavaScript library which will strip EXIF data inside of the browser, so we might do that. And you know what? The Imager API might actually strip all of the EXIF data anyways. We can check. Oh, okay. Joshua saying only accept users that have filled certain fields in their account provider. Yeah, so if we do sign up with Google, well, I think Google, you have to have a first and a last name, and we could require that we pull in the email as well. Yeah. So I like this. So this is just in terms of like validating trusted users. Zuzu as the name of the app. Zuzu. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the stream. Image shall be able to be captioned with markdown with a high character limit. Yeah, so you can kind of do a text post along with the image, but you write your stuff in markdown. I like it. So instead of just posting an image, it's a little bit like a story, like a mini blog post. Instagram might have an open API for photo checking. Instagram photo what's the word I'm looking for? Rating. Photo rating API. Photo type detection. I'm really trying to avoid searching for the word nude. Ooh, there's the Cloud Vision API, detect image properties. Dominant color. What else can it detect? That's pretty cool. We'll keep that one. Andre, hello, Andre is saying, why not make a log frequency analyzer on Web Audio API? Because today we are focusing on real-time and maps with Feathers and React. Brooks is saying, otherwise images might end up sideways. Yeah, so we had that issue. There were some images for the Barkwire app that we built recently, and the EXIF data inside of them actually specified a rotation. So when you looked at them directly in the browser, they looked fine. But if you loaded them into an image element, they would rotate 90 degrees. And that was because of the EXIF data, which is interesting. Hello, Eyes. Welcome to the stream. Add a karma. Oh, I kind of like this. Yeah, so like, I mean, it's kind of sad if just like an image disappears, but if an image has a high number of upvotes, maybe it sticks around for longer. Yeah, I like that. Image profanity, thanks for the search, Shimon. Image moderation, profanity filter, and video moderation APIs. Webpurify.com. Photo moderation. Oh, it's live people. Or the latest in AI technology. So, or start a 100 photo free trial. Huh. Filtering inappropriate content with the Cloud Vision API. Get a $300 free credit to spend over 12 months. That is avocado toast. Adult is very unlikely and violence is very unlikely. So that's interesting. Maybe we'll use that. I consider it kind of a stretch goal. Maybe it'll be required. I don't know. Yeah, if voted up by a viewer, it stays. Otherwise, it disappears when it hits 0. And that's kind of what Reddit does. There's like an algorithm based on number of upvotes and time posted, and eventually like it disappears from the front page. But yeah. Yeah, Discord detects it. Yeah, we're just not doing the Web Audio API, mainly just full stack apps for now. I trust you, but I also don't want to pull it up on stream. Uploadfilter.io has a filter thing. Okay, so let's we'll look at this, and then we gotta make a plan. We gotta build this app. Hey, get started for free. Pricing: 2,500 requests per month. That's pretty cool. Okay, we'll hold on. We'll hold on to these things. Because we gotta build the app first. Okay, what do we call it? 5 upvotes for chap. The only thing is, Slido doesn't do IP duplication checking. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna go to straw poll. I know I said we were going to build the app, but we need a name for the app before we can build the app. Chap has 5 upvotes. We have MapMySnap. I don't want to get sued by Snapchat though. We'll see. SnapMap. Geogram. GeoSnap. Atlas. Snap Garden. That's pretty cool because it's like the coding garden. Snap World. There's so many ideas. John. I don't want to call it John. Tender Map would probably have a copyright issue or whatever. Terra Map. Snappy McMap Face. How about Mappy McMap? Mappy McMap Face. Yeah. GeoChat, is that on there? Nope, GeoChat. All right, poll is over. Well, that poll is over. Now we get to vote here. We're gonna do IP duplication checking and improve spam prevention. Create the poll. Vote now. All right. If Mappy McMapface wins, that'll be really funny. It's a reference to Bodie McBoatface. I think there was an internet, yeah, there was a poll they put on the internet, I think, and they let people vote for the name. Yeah. Although Bodie McBoatface was the most popular suggestion in the Name Our Ship poll, the suggestion to use the name for the mothership was not followed. Don't vote for that. Do not vote for that. Isaac's asking how to stream video using a socket and a base64 image. I've done something like this before. It's not like video quality real-time chat or like real-time video, but it is doable. Basically what I did is I made an app where it would take a picture with the webcam every 5 seconds, and then that base64 image that it took is the only thing that would live on the server. So it didn't save any of the past images. It would just every 5 seconds replace the base64 image that was there, and then the client could just see the latest image. So it was kind of like a I don't know. It's not exactly video chat, but it is a way of like seeing a somewhat real-time image of someone else that has their webcam open. But yeah. A decay rate algorithm per post based on views, likes, and comments. Yeah, I think that's the what do you call it? The algorithm that Reddit uses as well. I didn't know it was called decay rate, but it sounds like we could find something if we Googled that. Snap my pickup. Zuzu? Oh, well, you didn't submit it on the other thing. Sorry. All right, how we doing? So the highest votes is Snap Garden. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's fitting. This is the coding garden. Willie Lump, I don't see the link to vote in the YouTube chat. Is that a joke because I posted it 7 times? But I'll leave this up and you can go there to vote. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I have a package that was supposed to be delivered. I'm gonna see if it's here. I'll be right back. No package. Yes, go to this URL to vote. It looks like Snapgarden's gonna win. We'll see. A package? A package, yes. Jesus is mentioning you can use Pixify.js to remove EXIF data. Cool. Sweet. Oh, also Willy Lump Lump, in the chat, up at the top, or anyone else that's watching, if you want to see the chat that I'm seeing, make sure that you have live chat selected. For some reason, like, I don't even know the purpose of top chat. Maybe if there's a lot of chat happening, but if you click top chat, which is the default, sometimes you won't see messages. But if you choose live chat, you'll pretty much always see the latest messages. Yeah, the camera tries to focus when I'm gone. It's the ghosts. Live unboxing of the package. That would be, actually, I might do that. That would be fun. But I do need to build this app. Let's see what won. Snapgarden won. That's cool. 10 votes. Overall, there were 31 votes. YouTube says there's 72 people watching. But, that's fine. Snapgarden. I love it. Okay. Let's build it. So yeah, I'm gonna make a directory. Well, yeah, I'm gonna call it Snapgarden. Snapgarden? Snap-garden. We'll call it that for now. And we're gonna have a client and a server. First, let's go ahead and just generate the server. After we get all the apps up and going, we're gonna have to take a step back and let's just think about the data model. Like, what kind of data is this app going to have? How is it all going to relate? But first, let's install the latest Feathers CLI. Make sure we have the latest. But we're gonna generate two apps. We'll have our Feathers backend, that'll be in the server folder, and then we'll have our React app in the client folder. Cool. So I should be able to do Feathers generate. Is this going to create a folder, or should I do it in an existing folder? I think it's going to create a folder. Let's call it server. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Feathers generate app, and then the name is server. We're going to use JavaScript. The project name is Snapgarden. This might not create a directory. If not, we'll figure it out. Description, leave it blank. Source folder, we're going to use npm. We'll do REST and real time. I like to use, are we going to have any tests? We'll use Jest if we do write any tests. And this app will use authentication. Out of the box, let's do Google and no local auth. We're only going to allow users to log in with a social service. I said let's use Google because usually they make people use their real name, so that will potentially prevent people from posting sketchy things. I say that, but what is the name of the user entity? Users is good for me. What database should we use? We will use Mongoose. That looks good to me. Create the app. Make sure that I have MongoDB installed locally. Should I create a Docker container? Let me know in the chat. Should I create a Docker container or should I just use local Mongo? I've already been streaming for an hour though. Docker container will take, I don't know, 10 minutes to set up. Yeah, everyone chatting right now has a Google. Literally anyone watching on YouTube or posting a YouTube chat has a Google account. So I like that choice. Cool. So that's there. And it generated it in this folder. But that's okay. We're going to do some command line foo. So basically this folder that we're in, I want that to be in a folder called server. So I'm going to go up one directory. I'm going to move Snapgarden to a folder called server. So now it's called server. Now I'm going to make a directory called Snapgarden. And I'm going to move server into Snapgarden. So now Snapgarden is here. We go into Snapgarden. It has a server folder. Cool. I want this layout because I want the server, that's going to be our Feathers app, and then we'll have a client folder, which is our React app. Okay, let's start up the server. npm run dev, localhost 3030. Hey, you got a Feathers app. Sweet. And while we're here, let's generate our React app. I'm just going to do npx create React app. We're going to call this client. So we'll have a server folder and a client folder. You notice there's less glare if I do. There was my coding garden mug. Docker. Yeah, I guess maybe not exactly, but I have seen Google do some checking before. Like if you try to type a weird name, like it won't let you. But yeah, let's do Docker. We're gonna do Docker. All right. Docker compose for Mongo. My bet easier than installing it for folk cloning this later. Yeah, I mean, because technically I could create a Docker container that has the backend app inside of it and the MongoDB. I think I'm just gonna do a Docker compose file with MongoDB, and then you start that up and you have MongoDB running in the background. That's what I'm gonna do. It'll be the easiest. And I think I'm gonna make sure that I don't have Mongo running locally, because I do have it installed locally. Brew services stop MongoDB. I have not agreed to the Xcode license. What? Did I install updates recently? Am I about to be hacked? What's happening here? Cool. What? Invalid option. Did I spell license wrong? Gosh darn it. Unknown version. What? What? So Mongo is running. Oh man. So I think I updated. Did I some updates installed in the background, and now Brew is messed up. Sean is saying a new Xcode update dropped. That could be it. Brew Doctor. Yeah, let's just uninstall it. Cool. Yeah, okay, so it's uninstalled, it's not running. Hopefully we won't run into issues there. Let's get a database thingy running. So I'm gonna open up VS Code in this, well, in the server directory. And let's just create a Docker compose file right here. We're gonna use version 3, and then we're gonna search the web, because I'm sure someone tells us exactly what we need to do. So version 3, I believe there's a services, and then under here we describe each service. We're gonna want a database service, and then it's gonna have some options. So let's just look that up. So we want a MongoDB Docker container. That's from 2015. Let's see what they have to say. Maybe we can derive what we need to do from there. No, it's too much. Yeah, I mean the container name is Mongo. I guess we could probably just pull from Mongo latest. So let's just look up Docker Compose, like the default docs for Docker Compose. We'll figure it out from there. Cool. So there's that. Do they have an example that uses an image? And don't worry, I'm going to explain what all of this means once we figure it out. Networking. Example stack.yaml for Mongo. Wait, what? I see it. Here we go. Okay. this is what I was looking for. So the service, you give it a name. They called theirs Mongo. I'm going to call mine database. You say image. So image is Mongo. Usually you do something like Mongo latest, something like that. For start always, Mongo initdb root username, root password, root. This is just for our local, so it doesn't really have to be that secure. And then typically you want to map its data folder to a local folder so that if you ever restart the container, it still has all of your data. So we need to find out what is that folder. Data. This is not helpful. Like this is too much. I literally okay. Let's see. Is this gonna help? They're pulling down this Docker Compose from Bitnami. Do I want that? Here we go. Path to persistence. Well, in the Bitnami image, it's called Bitnami. I guess if we look up the Mongo one, it'll tell us what the data path is. Oh, here we go. I should have just scrolled down. However, what's the data path? Do note that none of the variables below will have any effect if you start the container with a data directory that already contains a database. Okay. Docker run network host. Are they specifying any volumes? Here we go. Data/db. Why was that so hard to find? Oh my goodness. Okay. So we want to specify volumes, and we want to say on my local machine, this is going to be in a directory. We're going to call this database data. And we're going to map that to data/db inside of the container. So the way Mongo stores all of its data is in this folder, and we're going to have that locally on our computer, so that way if we ever shut down the container and restart it, all of the data will be inside of there. For now, let's create that folder called database data. We're going to throw a .getKeep in here. And then we're going to ignore the database data folder. So I don't want to push all that MongoDB stuff up to GitHub. So I'm going to go ahead and ignore it. Database data. So that won't push it. Later on, we're going to have to manually add the getKeep. But let's explain what's going on here. So this is a Docker Compose file. Typically, you might actually have multiple services listed in here. So right now I have my database service, but I could put my server in here. I could pull the image node latest, and that would give me an image that has node.js inside of it. I could add my React client on here if I wanted to run it all inside of a container. But this compose file is essentially a collection of different services that you want to run together. In our case, we just want a database. We're going to pull from the Mongo latest image, tell it to always restart, and we're passing in what the root username and root password should be. This is just root and root. We also want to expose some ports because we want to be able to access this database from the host machine. Ports. And it's usually a mapping. I have to figure out what the Mongo port is, but typically you say, like, on my machine, I want to access the database from port whatever, and inside of the container, it should be running on that port. But let's figure out what the port is. 27017. And I'm just going to map it like this. So this is the default MongoDB port, but what's going to happen is this container is going to be running. Inside of it, MongoDB is going to be exposed on that port, and then from the host machine, we can access it from this port. So that way, whenever we set up our connection inside of our Express app, it'll just think that the database is running on localhost when actually it's running inside of a container, but it still will be able to access it on that port. Yeah, let's see what happens. So now that I have this Docker compose file, I do need to make sure that Docker is up and running. There is an update. I have version 2.0.1. Install update. 600. Well, look at my internet speed. That's pretty sweet, right? All right, let's catch up on the chat while that's downloading. Yeah. Danielle says, I want that mug. Check out the video below the video. I think this is like $10. I don't know. Snap Garden, we did it. Merritt Sean says, I don't do Node that much, but am I the only person that thinks 30,000 files in Node modules is insane? No, it's ridiculous. So let me see. Just open up Coding Garden. Yeah. Okay. I currently have 70 gigabytes free on my machine. I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was Monday morning. I had 12 gigabytes of free space left on my machine. I ran a recursive command that just deleted the Node modules folder in my dev directory, because, I mean, you can see, like, Coding Garden has a bunch of apps. That's inside of dev, which has a bunch of apps. It cleared up, like, over 40 gigabytes of Node modules. Like, that's just insane. Like, I don't know why we accept things. We accept that. Yeah, so that's a thing. It did encourage me to use npm, which is very similar to npm, but instead of copying those files every single time you do an npm install, it links them, which is pretty nice. However, there is an issue using this with the Vue CLI, which I ran into. You can fix it, but it takes a command line flag. I don't know, but Merchan, you are not alone. It is insane. It's insane. Oh, cool. Also, I have like 9 Google accounts. Yeah, I have several too, but I don't know. I think it's better than nothing. Dimitri is saying I should use MongoDB community. Let's check it out. Do I need to find that on Docker Hub? I don't know, Mongo might work. We'll try it. Brian, I have only slightly dabbled in React Native. I don't really have any tips other than you kind of just have to relearn layout and styles. Basically, everything you know about layout and styles that you learned in web programming is very different in React. So there's that. Justin says, man, this update is brutal. Brew, get it? Brew? Yeah. Yeah, and so we were building a native app for the Coding Garden community app, and we were going to use React Native, but everyone was running into issues, so yeah. MacBook, Apple has detected that I don't have the latest 2019 MacBook. That could be the reason behind your tech problem. This is a 2015 MacBook Pro, and I love it. I am going to use this thing until it literally dies. It has a full HDMI port, no USB-Cs. I love it. Flutter seems interesting. If I build a native app, I might use Flutter. Someone just asked, is it only for a mobile? They actually are releasing Flutter for web as well, so pretty soon you can use it in both. Cool. Energy is watching. I think they watched the earlier part of the stream at 2 times. Yeah. There needs to be like a node light. Yes, I agree. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if this compose file that I created, not that, this. Let's see if this works. So what we do is from the terminal, we are in the server directory and it has this Docker compose file. So I'm going to say Docker compose up, and is going to first pull the image. So Mongo latest is the image that has the Mongo database inside of it. It's all set up and ready to go. So it's going to pull that image. And then after it pulls the image, it's going to attempt to start it up. Yeah, it's starting. And we can see all the logs here. I mean, technically I could run this in the background. I like to leave it in the foreground so that way I can kill it when I'm done with it. And let's see if we can attach to it. So I have the Docker extension added in VS Code. VS Code Docker containers refresh not found. What? Maybe I need to remove and reinstall this thing. Oh, you know what? When I removed all those node modules, it might have borked all of my VS Code extensions because they have node modules in them. Let's uninstall and then reinstall this. Install. Docker. Refresh. Oh no, this is not good. There's another thing we could do if I don't have access to this, but let's uninstall it, reload, and then we will attempt to install it. Hey. That's so weird. Why won't it work? If it doesn't work, I'll show you how we can do it without it, but it's a pretty convenient tool because it shows you all of your running containers and things like that. Huh. That's so lame. Oh well. So we have this container running. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a Docker PS. That'll tell me all of the Docker containers that I have running. We can see here that I have this one running, and its name is server database 1. So what I want to do is I want to go into that container so that I can run some commands inside of it. And so essentially, once I connect to it, I can use Mongo and like explore the database. So I'm going to do Docker. I think you do exec image name and then bash sh echo host name echo. So it's running it in the container. It might not have it might not have bash installed, so I can't do like an interactive terminal. Weird. Am I doing that right? Docker exec. So Docker exec, options, container, and then the command that you want to run. Yeah, so for some reason, oh, -I want it to be interactive. Oh, I'm in it. Okay, so I'm inside the container. For some reason, there is no prompt, but I should be able to type Mongo. Yeah, and now I'm inside of a Mongo shell, and I can issue Mongo database commands. That's super weird that there's not like an interactive prompt, but our MongoDB container is working, and it's running inside the container. So when we connect our database, we should be able to use that specific database. Cool. All right, where were we? We generated a client app, so let's go into the client, just make sure that's running and working. Cool. So we have a React app. This is the new React app React logo, so that's cool too. Okay, so just to recap, what did we do here? In the server folder, we created a Docker Compose. We told it what image we wanted to use. And also we can see here, this database data is this folder. And if I look inside of it, there should be a bunch of crap. Yeah, because this is all of the files that the container generated, but it put them in here. And that way, if I ever kill the container and restart it, all of my data will still be there. We exposed the port so we could access it locally. And then we set up the username and password. Cool. So, yeah, I think we need to configure this server app. So if we go into default, we should see, yeah, we need a Google OAuth key and secret so that we can log in with users. And we can see our MongoDB connection string. This should actually work because if you remember, I exposed that port. However, we do need username and password. So we should probably do something like root at localhost So what this does is it connects to the database, but with the username root and the password root. And that's because in our Docker Compose, we told it to have the username root and the password root. So that should work. Honestly, though, it might actually work without it because when I was inside the container, I was able to just use MongoDB. Let's see if this works. If we get an error, we know that we need to add the username and password. Okay, let us add the OAuth key and secret. So I'm going to need to go create some API keys. Let's do it. Okay. I'm going to create a new project. We're going to call this Snap Garden. All right. Okay, so I'm in the Snap Garden. I know you can't see my screen. I just don't want to expose any API keys. So yeah, I can at least show this. Here we go. So I'm in the Google API console. I created a project called Snap Garden. Now what I need to do is create an OAuth key and secret. So if I click on credentials, I want an OAuth client ID. Before that, I need to configure the consent screen. So this is the screen that people will see whenever they attempt to log into the app. So the application name is Snap Garden. Is that what we called it? Snap Garden, cool. The logo. Let me get the Coding Garden logo. Just a second. Dev. So the other weird thing is, so when I deleted all those node modules folder, it changed the modification time of all of my folders. So now they're in like a super weird order and it's kind of hard to find things because I have so many random projects on here. Here we go, almost there. Nice. Cool. So we have that logo. Support email. Yeah, we'll use that one. Scope, email, profile, and OpenID. Cool. Authorized domains. For now, we're just going to do localhost. I wonder if I need to do 3030. Yeah, just localhost. Yeah, I guess I don't need to do that for now because it's not going to be deployed anywhere just yet. Homepage link. We'll go to coding.garden. And then authorized domains. Coding.garden. Cool. Yeah, I don't have a privacy policy or a terms of service. Let's just say it's here. Save. Oh, I hide my screen. Cool. So that saved it. Now on this screen, I can choose the type. I'm going to choose application, web application. I'm going to name it. And this is actually where I get to specify the JavaScript origin. So this is where I'm going to do localhost for now. http://localhost 3030. And then authorize redirect URIs. This is going to be localhost 3030/OAuth/Google/callback. And this is based off of the settings in my Feathers app. So if I look at my backend, we should see, I guess that's just the default. If I look in the source and I look at authentication, yeah, it doesn't have it there either. So I just know that by default, that's going to be the callback URL. So OAuth/Google/callback. Cool. All right, I'm going to click create, and that's probably when the API key will pop up. There it is. So I have my OAuth client ID and my OAuth secret. Cool. Awesome. So what I'm going to do right now, so I have this backend app. I could actually just paste in the OAuth key and the OAuth secret right here, but I don't want to do that because I'm going to push this code up to GitHub. So I'm actually going to install .env in here, and then this can read from an environment variable, and that way I don't have to push that up to GitHub. So let's do that. So in the server folder, and actually, let's see. On first connect, authentication failed. Interesting. Well, we'll see that in a second once we start using the database and stuff. So I'm going to install .env in the server folder. Cool. And then I'm going to create a .env file. And we're going to add some things. We're going to add Google OAuth key. And then Google OAuth secret. Is that what they call them in here? OAuth key, OAuth secret. Yeah. So I'm going to have these. This is where I'm actually going to put the values. But I'm now going to take this .env variable and put it here. And then I'm going to take this and put it here. And the Feathers configuration package is smart enough to know that when it sees this, it will actually pull it from the environment variables. But we do need to load the environment variables. So we'll do that in app.js right at the top here. Before we bring in anything else, we're just going to say, well, let's bring in .env. And then really, before we do anything else, we're going to do .env.config. And that will read in this file, put it in my environment, and then later on, when the configuration runs right here, it will have the correct value for my key and secret. So we should be good there. Okay. Why is there so much extra space? So we're good there. I'll update my .env. One thing I'll do right now is I'll just copy this .env and then rename it as .env.sample. And so the sample will actually get pushed up to GitHub, so people will know what they need to put in. But the env is going to get ignored if it's not already ignored. Oh, and these need to be inside of the server folder, like so. And if we look at the git ignore, is it ignoring .env? It's not. So let's add it. We're going to ignore .env. Cool. All right, I'll hide my screen, put in my actual values. That was the wrong thing. Let me put in the values, and then we'll be good to go to try and test this thing. Excuse me. So I have my client ID, and then I have my client secret. That goes in my .env file. Should be good there. I'm going to go ahead and close that tab. I'm going to close the .env file so it doesn't appear. Okay. Yeah, it's complaining about like spelling problems in my .env. I don't care about that. Cool. So I think we do need to configure Google OAuth because that's not configured by default for some reason, which is interesting. But we'll do that really quick just to make sure that it's working. So in my Feathers backend, if I look in the authentication.js file, I can see that it's set up to use JWT. The local strategy isn't being used because I didn't check it, but they are bringing in OAuth. So we'll go to the Feathers docs, but I do believe that this exports a OAuth strategy. And essentially, we need to create our own strategy that extends that for Google. So we'll say class Google strategy extends the OAuth strategy. And then we need to overwrite one of the methods. I'm going to look at the Feathers docs because in their getting started guide, they show how to set this up with GitHub. So yeah, get entity data. And this should give us access to their email. So get their data with the profile, base data, and then we're passing in the email. We may have to debug this. I'm just going to log base data and also log profile. Cool. And then now I need to register that strategy. So I do that right here. So I'll say authentication that registered GitHub, or not GitHub, we're going to call it Google. And we're going to do a new Google strategy. Okay. Let's see what happens. And I mean, I may need to override in my user service. So if I look in services, users, yes. So for sure, let's look at the user's model that we have set up. So it just has a Google ID, but I will definitely want to put the user's email on the user entity. So this is a Mongoose schema that describes the document store for this. And so I definitely want to store their email as well. So that, and I think, can I do required true? I'll have to look at the Mongoose docs, but I think I want to do this because I want to make sure that they have a Google ID and they have an email. I guess I probably want display name. And when we debug this, we'll see all of the incoming data. So because I'm logging right here, base data and profile, we'll see what data we get back before it gets inserted into the DB. So there's that. Our user service is pretty bare. I don't think we need a hook to set these properties. Like, they should automatically get set, but we'll see. So now I think it's time to try. So if we go to localhost 3030, we go to /auth/Google. Should get redirected. Oh, it's OAuth/Google. We get redirected, and we see a redirect URI mismatch. The redirect URI in the request does not match the ones authorized for the OAuth client. Let's just make sure that I specified this correctly. I want to pull back open the Google console and make sure that that URL is in our authorized redirects. Oh, I didn't add one at all, so I definitely need to add that. So it's just from the console page. You click on your client, and then you can add a redirect URI. And in this case, I wanted to add this exact one that it's telling me is an error, so that it's now a valid redirect URI. So let's try again. Localhost 3030, OAuth, not /GitHub, OAuth/Google. There we go. I'm going to use my Coding Garden with CJ account. And something happened. Let's look at the logs. Feathers application, page not found, type Feathers error, name not found, class name not found, URL /auth/Google. Did I do something wrong? It might be, I might have specified the other callback URL wrong. Just say it. Let me look at the Google console. Yeah, so that's an authorized redirect URI. Let's see. What else am I missing? All right, let's just look at the Feathers docs together. So if we go to API, we go to authentication, and we go to OAuth. So we already have it installed. Oh, do I need to specify a redirect? No, I think the redirect is already specified as /. So if I look at my config.json, redirect is /. So that's fine. The default path is OAuth, host protocol, callback. Let's try again. And let's see if I can get a better error. So, I'm gonna leave the logs running there. And then we're gonna try again. So, OAuth/Google. Wait, what? Sign in. I want to use this account. Not seeing any logs. Okay, I think it's because the logger is disabled. So if we go to the logger.js, it creates the logger. And if we look in middleware, does it have a logger? If we look in our app.js, bringing in the logger. Error handler, which gets past the logger. Not seeing anything logged. For more detailed errors, change this to debug. Let's try it. Then we should at least get a log when we like request the app. No, okay. Let's try again. There is command aggregate requires authentication. I guess we can search that. But I'm first curious, why aren't we seeing anything else in the logs here? And why aren't we seeing this? I mean, it could be that it's failing before it even gets here. And it could be that it's failing in the user's create. We're gonna figure this out. Okay, first let's search for that error that we're getting. Command aggregate requires authentication. Mongo error. Oh, so it could be that it can't connect to the database. And that's where I need to specify the username and password. Let me just try that, because that's the first thing that we're not doing. So I'm gonna say root at localhost. Okay, now we get an error. Failed to connect to server. The first connect, authentication failed. In our Docker Compose, we did see the username and password is root and root. This could be an issue with using a Docker container. We'll figure it out though. We're gonna get there. Yeah, so it grabs MongoDB, which is this. I mean, maybe that's not, like, that's just the initial username and password. Let's see. Let's just confirm MongoDB connection string. Yeah, typically it's username colon password at. That fails though. Let's look back at that Docker Compose, or the Docker for Mongo. Mongo initdb root username. Currently, this is only supported. You know what? I feel like this needs to be specified as an array. And let's just do something like this, Mongo. And then let's kill our backend app. Let's kill this Docker Compose. And then let's delete all the data in our database data folder and just recreate the whole thing. Though actually, because what I'm seeing is this is version 3.1, and I just said version 3, and I'm used to specifying these. Oh, actually, I'm used to specifying it like this. I don't know. Let's try it. And let's also catch up on the chat. So this whole episode is just gonna be me debugging, getting OAuth and the database working. Uninstall and reload VS Code. That was for the extension thing, which wasn't working. I'm having all kinds of issues. DuckDuckGo default dark mode, yes. See you later, Infi. Thanks for tuning in. It's really early there. Wow. Raul is asking, is it possible to set up multiple authentication strategies? For example, Google, localauth, so the user has a choice? Yes, you can. And you can also have multiple social or OAuth strategies. So you could have Google and GitHub if you wanted to. Yeah, it's possible. See you later, Omar. Thanks for tuning in. Europe is asleep. Motivation says, what is the feeling that you experience when you watch one of your videos? I mean, you watch yourself move and all. Is it not weird? I don't really watch my videos. I like the only times I'm watching them are if I'm editing them. It's okay. I don't mind. Yeah, web audio API is pretty cool, but I'm just not going to do that today. Yeah. Makika, hello Makika, who says, if a user is not logged in or approved, blur all images on the map. I think I won't let them see anything on the map unless they are logged in. Though it might be interesting to see at least what images are available, so it would make them want to sign up. I don't know. It's a good thought, though. Danielle is asking, how am I liking Feather so far? I like it. I'm just having, I think this is a database issue. So now that we started up with this new syntax, let's update our config to say user is Mongo and password is Mongo. And then see if it works. Hey, it crashed. What if we do no username and password? Then it works. But if we try to log in, command aggregate requires authentication. Okay, last ditch effort. So let's kill this. Let's just specify the Docker compose exactly as they do it. So we're just gonna do this. I think the only difference will be the exposed ports and yeah. So we need ports and volumes. And it could be because it's version 3.1. Okay, let's delete this database data, all the stuff in the database data folder. Delete, move to trash, empty trash. And I did pull this from Mongo latest, which I think it would do by default. But let's try again. Port is already allocated. Has active endpoints? What? I need to remove orphans. Yeah, because the old container was still up. Okay, we're gonna try again. Okay, waiting for connections on 2701, 017. Okay. Moment of truth. Username root. Password example. Gosh darn it. Okay, I wanted to use Docker, but I think I'm just going to use local MongoDB because I have debugged this for way too long. Let's kill it. Kill it. Cool. We're not going to use Docker. It was a good try. Thanks everyone for participating, but we're not going to use Docker. We're just going to do brew install MongoDB. brew install Mongo. What? Is it literally brew cask install Mongo? I've never done brew cask install Mongo. Brew install Mongo. Maybe things have changed. I don't know. All right, let's tap the MongoDB brew tap. Package still isn't here, which is unfortunate. Okay, we tapped it. Now we're going to install the community edition of Mongo. That was an old message when you mistype auth instead of auth. Okay, that was earlier, but that makes sense. Yeah, so the error message in the URL had to do with the database. My Mongo container wasn't working. Okay, we've got Mongo running locally now. Let's try it. So, no username, no password. Run the server. Cool. Now let's try to log in. Gonna try with this one. Hey, something happened. Okay, we wanted to use a Docker container, but I didn't set it up correctly. But we're gonna keep moving. We do get an error. User's validation failed. Display name path to display name is required. That's fine. What I wanted to see was the profile logged and the base data logged. Awesome. So, and then we can get a better idea of what's happening here in this get entity data function. So we pass in the so we first get the profile. So that's what we get back after the OAuth flow. So after the user clicks accept, and this has their name, their given name, their family name, their picture, their email, and email verified true. Ooh, I guess I could only allow users to sign up if email verified is true. I don't know. I'll leave it now for now. And then we do get name. So name is the display name. And so actually I'll just rename it in my users model to be name. And that way it'll map one-to-one from the data that I get back from Google to the data that's being inserted into my database. And so we can see that we are returning an object that has their email. We'll also pass in name, which is going to be profile.name. So that's going to get inserted into the DB. And then let's also add their picture. Yeah, I think that's what we want. And so now I'm going to add a picture to the users model so that way it gets put into the database as well. Cool. And I think that should do it. So now if we try logging in again, it should work, but we're going to get all this other info in our database. So let's do OAuth/Google. I want to log in with this account. Ta-da! And we get an access token. Cool. So I'm going to hide my screen for a second. I'm going to pull up an app that can connect to MongoDB. I think I have, Robo3T installed. And then I'm going to create a connection to my local database. And the database I want is snap_garden. Yep. Cool. So this is a tool called Robo3T. It can connect to Mongo running locally on your machine or to remote Mongo instances. But you can see I have the users collection here, and it did insert a user, which is awesome. And I think also it's smart enough to not create a new user if the user tries logging in again. So let's try logging in again. Choose this. It should just redirect right back. Awesome. If we refresh the database, we don't have any new users, but the same user is still there. Cool. So OAuth is working. It's a good thing. So what I kind of need to do is I need to set it up so that after the redirect has happened, you get redirected back to the client, which is running on port 3000 here. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to say my redirect is localhost 3000, and that will redirect them there. And then my React app will need to like use that token so that they're now logged in. Cool. Let's just get that set up. I think I'm going to go ahead and install the Feathers client in my React app. Let's look up how to do that. Look at API, authentication, client. So we can add the auth client. I think if I just install at FeathersJS /feather. No, I'm going to need to install all of these. Yeah. Cool. Yep. So I need to do that. The thing is, though, since we're using React and we're going to use hooks, I saw someone post on the Feather Slack about this thing called Figbird, which is a React library that is a wrapper on top of the Feathers client that uses hooks and gives you like built-in effects and things like that. So you can like get a particular entity and it automatically stays updated behind the scenes. So yeah, we're gonna use this, and I think this might actually have auth built into it. Yeah, so this is from the company Humans, but yeah, someone shared it on the Feather Slack, and it looks really cool. It's a newer library, but basically it's hooks for working with feathers in React. So I'm going to install it. On GitHub somewhere? Man, DuckDuckGo. I always have to jump out to Google. It's not nice. Big Bird? Big Bird! Big Bird. There it is. Cool. So last updated 6 days ago. This is like a brand new library, and it's still missing some things, but let's see. We can get things, find things, mutate things. I don't know. It should work, right? If we come across something that's missing, we'll make a pull request and add the feature. I don't know. But let's get going. So how do we install this thing? We need to install Figbird and at FeathersJS feathers. So I'm going to go into the client directory. And we're going to install Figbird and at FeathersJS /feathers. And I think I saw, did I see like a logout? Yeah, feathers.logout. Probably do feathers.login, all that good stuff. Cool. Okay, so I have those two things. If we go back to VS Code, let's minimize the server. Let's close all the server stuff for now. in the client, source directory, index.js is where we render our app. But if we look at the Figbird docs, we need to configure it. So we need to have a Figbird provider, and then we have our entire app underneath that. Let's see. Yeah. So something like this. And I'm gonna need to install like routing and stuff like that. I guess I'll need to find a router that works with hooks. Well, let's see. Okay, so we have our app component. Is we're gonna set it all up. Just gonna do this. Export default function app. And I guess app doesn't actually have any children. Well, it doesn't have any props. It just gets rendered, and then all of our stuff is gonna go within the Figbird provider. So we're creating a Feathers client. Let's look back at the Feathers docs to see how all of that works. Feathers client. It's curious. Oh, I see. Typically, you import it like this, but then it overrides that. Okay, so let's just do that. So we create our client. We do need to configure it to use, I guess for now we'll just use sockets. We're also going to need to install socket.io client, so let's do that. This is becoming a much larger endeavor than I had initially anticipated. The connection string needs the Docker container name, not localhost. It works with localhost because I have the port mapped, so it's connecting to the database. My Express app isn't inside of a container. My Express app is on localhost. So that's why that should work. Something was just wrong with the authentication. I don't know. Did the package arrive yet? It might have, and then maybe somebody stole it. Let me let me check. Nope. It was supposed to be here by 8 a.m. Oh, it says it's delivered. I guess I'll go grab it. I'll be right back. I've been streaming for 2 hours already, and we only have an app set up. Okay, I'll be back. Focus. Here it is. Should I open it? I've barely written any code. Okay, I'm gonna catch up on the chat, and then you all will decide if I should open this package. Hello Slayer, who asks how old I am. I'm older than 12 and younger than 40. I'll say that. Yeah, so local Mongo worked. I'm just gonna stick with that. Mongo actually creates, if you try to connect to a database that doesn't exist, Mongo will automatically create it. Yeah. Andre, I'm not really familiar with Web Audio API and visualization. It'd be a fun project, but don't really want to do it anytime soon. What is inside the package you're waiting for? Wouldn't you like to know? Kat is asking, do you think devs sometimes overcomplicate things using too many tools when unnecessary? Example, Docker. Yes, I think so. But there are some scenarios where, like, Docker is supposed to make things easier. I mean, supposed to being the word, because typically once you have it set up, it then becomes really easy for any other dev to come up and just start your app without having to figure out what versions of dependencies you need and trying to replicate your environment. Docker is really cool because it basically describes your entire environment. I ran into issues. I'm obviously doing something wrong, so it's my fault. I just need to figure that out. But yes, I think you can absolutely overuse tools. But Docker, is it overused? Maybe not, because I think it's pretty helpful when it works. Yeah, and that's what Omar is saying. It's kind of like all in one go. Brooks is saying you can run the command npm repo name to have the Git repository of any packages in the browser. But, Brooks, what happened, which I saw, is if you look at npm, if you look at Figbird on npm, it doesn't have a link to GitHub. So that probably won't work, but we can try it really quick. npm repo Figbird. Yeah, no repository found. So they didn't put their repo name in their package JSON. So, excuse me. We were going to attempt to build like a real-time map where anybody can take a picture, upload it, it gets put onto the map, and it's like Snapchat, and that the image can disappear after a while or after a number of views. We're just running into setup issues. Jim is saying Vue is so much nicer and easier to get set up. You're not wrong. I do need to figure out what routing solution we're going to use, because we will need multiple routes. We need like a landing login page, and then we need the maps page. We could probably just get away with 2 routes. There's just one big map with all of the images on it. But yeah. Package. Yeah, Vue, and that's the thing, like when you generate an app with the Vue CLI, it comes with a router, it comes with state management, everything is just pre-configured and ready to go. Whereas with React, you kind of have to find your libraries. Speaking English says, I'm late, hope I don't miss the hooks part. I've barely gotten started. I've been running into issues. Figbird, similar to Feathers UX, just for a different framework. Yeah, so Figbird is built for React, and it's a brand new library. I think they just released it like maybe a month ago, if that. But it looks really interesting. I couldn't find any other React library that does similar things, but it gives you custom hooks to talk to your backend Feather service, which is very similar to Feathers Vuex, which it's not hooks, but it allows you to integrate Feathers with Vuex. So it's similar in that way. It's a big box. Nobody told me to open the box. Okay, I'm not going to open the box. What we need to do is we need to get auth configured and set up. So basically what's happening right now is if we go to localhost 3030 OAuth Google. So localhost 3030 is our backend, and we'll attempt to log in. But our front end is going to be running on port 3000. I have too many tabs open. But if we go to localhost 3000, it's broken right now, but this is, or not broken, there's nothing there. And actually, let's make it work. Let's just put like a hello world. Should work. Cool. So basic app, nothing is happening. But what needs to happen is after this sign-in flow is done from localhost 3030, it needs to redirect back to localhost 3000, which is where the client is running, and then the Feathers client authentication will kick in, which we haven't configured yet, but it will kick in and it should allow the user to be logged in. So we'll see. We do get redirected back to localhost 3000. It has the access token in the URL, and then the Feathers client should take care of like taking that access token and using it for login. So that's the next thing that we need to set up and configure. So let's do this. I don't think I need to use state here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my Feathers client, import it into this file, and then pass it down to the Figbird provider. So let's do this. We're going to create a file. We'll just call it feathers.js. And this is where I'll do the standard setup of creating the client and connecting it and all that good stuff. And I think I just installed, Socket.io client. Do I also need to install Socket? So I installed FeathersJS Socket.io client. I think I need to install Socket.io client as well. Oh, socket.io dash client, like that. Okay, so those things are installed, and now in this file is where I will get everything set up. I need to sneeze. Whew. Okay, for some reason this is require. We don't want this to be require. We want this to be from, and this needs to be import. So import these things from there. We'll just do IO, and right now we're going to connect to a localhost 3030 because that's where our backend is. We create the Feathers client, we configure it with sockets, and then we need to configure authentication. So if we look at client auth, we need to bring in Feathers authentication client, so I'm going to install that as well. And then we'll import it in. And then we need to configure it. So we'll say client.configure auth, and then we invoke that with some options. And I believe the main option we want is storage. Where are the options? Setup. Listed in the options section. I don't see the options, but I do know that one of the, maybe these are the options. It's called authentication client, but I think storage we need to set as window.local storage. So it stores the token in local storage. And then we're going to export default client. Let's rename this to Feathers client. So this file gets us set up and connects. Then we will use this Feathers connection in this file. So yeah, I don't think we need use state. But we'll say import Feathers client from Feathers client, like so. Cool. So there's our provider. Let's look at the Figbird docs. I don't think they have anything specific on auth. So we may need to just have something attempt to log in. And really, we need a landing page with like a login with Google button. I kind of want to see if Feathers is even working, though. Okay, so we have our provider. That's great. And then now in any given component, we need to say use Figbird. Well, no, use Feathers, which will get that client that we specified. And then we should be able to do something with it. So if we do something like try to query the user service, let's just do this. So we're going to import useGet from Figbird. We should get an unauthorized error because we don't have auth set up yet. But well, and really it needs to be a nested component below the Figbird provider, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. So we need let's call this the land. We're going to create a component called login for now. Let's create a folder. Let's call it components. And inside of that, I'm going to add login.js. Let's get rid of all this extra stuff in here while we're at it. Get rid of app.css. We'll keep the test for now. Index.css. Logo.svg, we'll delete that. Cool. Okay, login is going to import React from React. And then we're going to have a login, which is just going to be a functional component. And then we will export default login. Now we'll import this login component so that way we can use it right there. So we'll say import login from components /login. Cool. And now in the login component is where we're going to try this use get thing, which is the built-in Figbird thing, which will connect to our Feathers service on the back end. So really, well, actually no, we want to do use find because I just want to list all users in the system just to see that it's working, or at least see an auth error if it's not working. So let's say const users equals use find with users. And then for now, we're just going to have like a pre-tag. And inside of it, we're just going to throw the JSON string of users. All right, what do we get? Not authenticated. Cool. So that's working. It's basically connected to our backend. Cool. That's awesome. That's really cool. It's working. So now what we need to do is we need to like add some like a login button and stuff like that. Should we use a component library? I think we should. I don't want to use Material UI. Let's say React component library. I just want some default styles. 11 React UI component libraries you should know in 2019. We'll look at that. Open the box. Open the box. Open it. Tell us your age. Reach router. Yeah, that's the one I was like. Someone had mentioned it to me, but that's the one I want to use. I'll keep a note of that. That's what we'll use. Open the box. Okay, let's open the box. We got React sort of connected to the backend. It's not logged in yet. Okay, so what's in the box? So on a stream, a couple of streams ago, someone mentioned, or we mentioned, that it would be cool if Brooks came on the show and we did a fireside chat. It's gonna happen eventually, but I am essentially going to set up my streaming space to allow for interviews like podcast style. So I've got lots of goodies for that, and that's what's in this box. Open the box. All right. I'm gonna pull things out one at a time. First up is the Canon Vixia HF R800. This is a fairly inexpensive HD camera. It's the same. It's not the exact same model, but it's a similar model to the camera that I have right there that I've had for years. But now I'm gonna have two HD cameras. So one will be pointed at the streaming area, and then one will be pointed at the podcast / guest area. So let's take a look at it. I might actually use this as my main camera because it's newer, so maybe it'll be better. Ooh. It just looks like an updated version of the camera that I have right there. Sweet. So that's thing number one. Cool. Now, not in this box because it's coming in a separate package is an HDMI capture card that will go along with this. But the one that I ordered was a PCI Express HDMI capture card because if you've seen any of my setup streams or if you see my gear, if you go to coding.garden/gear, I use these Elgato HD60S capture cards. These run over USB 3, and I have two of them, one for my laptop, one for this camera. But Elgato also sells a PCI Express version of it, which I'm guessing is going to be like less delay, more performant, but that is what I'm going to use to capture the camera. What's next? Got a 25-foot HDMI cable. I think I got a 2-pack. Yeah, there should be two in here. I got some studio headphones with deep bass for the guests. Like, I already have my own set of studio headphones for monitoring. There's that. A cord protector. There's some blue in there. But basically, I'm going to have a bunch of wires. And this is like it's a 15-foot long thing that I can put on the ground and run all the wires through it. So that's cool. I think this is a second blue screen. I need something to open it with. Well, that's not good. Yes, it is. Open the box. Yes, so this invisible thing is a second blue screen. So I'm basically gonna have like a full blue screen, because there's one behind me, but then there's gonna be another one on that wall, so that when I set up like a podcasting table, it'll have a blue screen behind it too. We can show all kinds of like the screen. We can have a backdrop, all that good stuff. And then this, I'm actually very curious about. So this, I got two of them. It is a $35 set that comes with. It's so cheap. But it had very decent reviews. Let's catch up. Unboxing. A box full of boxes, yes. Cool. So, we've got a pop filter. That's great. We've got a microphone telescoping arm. Let's see. Yes, so it comes with the table attachment. So basically, like this will attach here or somewhere, and then we'll be able to move it around. And it comes with a phantom-powered condenser microphone. That attaches to the arm. Windscreen, microphone holder. Oh, and like this is an amazing deal. It had decent reviews. Like it's not going to be like super pro level sound, but it's going to be decent. And then you have a shock mount for the condenser mic, which is also sweet. And then this. Oh, weird! I didn't even know it came with this. It comes with a USB sound card, so you can actually plug directly from the microphone into your computer. I had no idea that it came with this. I already have an audio capture card, which is what I'm going to use, but that's nice. So yeah, I got 2 of these. One for me, one for the guest. And so it's going to be great. There's going to be blue screen, podcast setup, multiple microphones. Everybody's got headphones. It's going to be cool. So I got 2 of those. So that's it for the box of goodies. Hello, Danny, who says, I didn't realize Feathers was more akin to Apollo. I thought it was like a Ruby on Rails thing. No, it's very modular. It absolutely is decoupled. Like you technically could have a Feathers client that's running inside the public folder of your Feathers Express app, but every app I've built has been totally decoupled. And then this Figbird thing is a new library where they created custom hooks for interacting with a Feathers service. So I mean the Feathers itself comes with a client library. So if you check out Feathers client, basically you can tap into a service, listen for when events happen, and then like create or update things using that service. So this is like the standard vanilla JS version of Feathers, but I'm attempting to use Figbird, which makes it more React-like. CJ went on an online shopping spree. I hadn't bought anything on Amazon in like 2 months, so I made up for it. But it's gonna be great. And then I could potentially. So I think Brooks is gonna be coming on in a few weeks, but eventually I can have guests on the show. You do interviews, that kind of thing. Maybe have a Coding Garden podcast. So yeah, it'll be cool. I am interested in the Web Audio API, just not tonight because we're working on other things. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'll have to remind any guest that comes on the show, don't wear blue. Do not wear blue because you'll blend in with the background. Robot arm. Yeah, and so it may not be a podcast per se. It's still going to be live streamed, but I think eventually that format could be edited down into a podcast. Because like if you look at my like morning tea streams or any of my Q&A or Hangout streams, sometimes there's some good conversation that you may not necessarily need to be looking at a screen for, so it could be in podcast form. So yeah, I can now host multiple streams at a time. Yeah, also like yeah, so first multiple camera angles, like extra capture cards, better sound and more sound. Yeah, it's happening. In general, what's it going to be centered around? Anything. Literally anything. Like, it will be tech focused. I think when Brooks comes on, we're probably going to do like origin stories. We're just going to interview each other and talk about how we got into the industry and stuff like that. But yeah. You have to tell your guests to wear blue. Think of all the awesome floating heads. Yes. Cool. All right. Where were we? We're looking for a component library to use on the front end. I don't want to use Material UI because I've used it like crazy, and I don't particularly like it. I mean, I pretty much use it in every single React app I've been working on at work. React Bootstrap is a contender because it's fairly easy to use. Let's open that in a tab. React Toolbox, never heard of it. React Bell, also never heard of it. React Grommet. I don't like the way it looks. Material Components Web. Ant Design. Maybe I'll use Ant Design. Semantic UI. OneSyn UI. React Virtualize provides React components for efficiently rendering large lists and tabular data. I'm not doing that. Cool. I wonder if there's like a component library that is specific to hooks. I mean, I don't know how that would work exactly, but let's see. Going straight to Google for this one. Compound components. Okay, never mind. We might go with Bootstrap. Let's look at React Toolbox. Bootstrap your application with beautiful material design components. Let's just look at, I want to compare this to using something like Material UI. So cool, we can bring in buttons, icon buttons. Cards have card title, card media. It looks easy enough. I like the way this looks compared to Material UI. Bell. Configurable React components with great user experience. Looks like they don't have a lot of components. So we've got buttons, cards. We actually don't need many UI components. We need like some forms. So we need like a not even a form. We just need a login with Google button, and then a form for uploading your image. So maybe I'll use React Toolbox. I don't know. What about Ant Design? Let's look at their buttons. Button, button, button. Where's the code? I can't find the code. I'm not going to use it. Is that Java? What? What's happening? I don't like their landing page. Any thoughts out there? I might use React Toolbox. Omar saying, is there another collab stream with the coding train? I would like to. We just haven't talked about it, and I know he's been super busy setting up his new studio and everything. But yeah. Yeah, Dan is awesome. Getting the new setup. Hello, Svetlana. Welcome. Hello, Lukman. Omar says they used React Strap components in their last project. I think it's between these two. It's between React Bootstrap and React Toolbox. You know what? If I use React Bootstrap, I probably can use something like Bootswatch. It's been a while. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna use React Bootstrap with Bootswatch. Okay, getting started. Install React Bootstrap and Bootstrap. I'm not gonna install Bootstrap. I'm gonna install Bootswatch. Okay, here we go. Oh, and we're gonna install a Reach Router too. So install React Bootstrap and Bootswatch like so. We then need to include the base CSS. So I'm going to go to Bootswatch's website, free themes for Bootstrap. Which one should we use? I kind of like Cyborg. It's like, it's kind of ugly, but I like that. Just in the lime and the purple. Lux is classy. Touch of class. Yeah, we're gonna use Lux. Okay, so that installed. In my index.js, I need to import the CSS. So I'm gonna do that right here. Boot swatch slash dist slash lux slash bootstrap.min.css. We'll have to verify that. So if we look in the node modules folder and we look at boot swatch, dist lux bootstrap.min.css. Cool. So that should give us the default Lux stylings. And then we import what we need. So import button from React Bootstrap /button. So we want a button. So in our login page, we're going to import button, and then we're going to use a button right here. It says login with Google. And the variant is going to be danger, because then it's a red button, and Google is red, right? There we go, log in with Google. Easy enough. Let's center it on the page. Do they have can I do like a flex box? I could do a container. I might just I'm just gonna create my own little flex box so I can center this thing. Do we just do a style tag? We could import like CSS and JS. Too many options. I just want to build the app. Okay. We're gonna do inline styles for now. Mainly because I've been streaming for almost 3 hours and we've barely gotten anything done. Okay, we're gonna do display flex, justify content center, and align items center. This will have a width of 100% and a height of 100%. And if we look at this, okay, it's centered there, but let's look at the elements. So we have our div ID root, and then we have that div right there. So we just need to style the root element. We'll do that in index.css. We'll say root has a width of 100 view width and a height of 100 view height. Margin 0, padding 0. And we'll do that same no margin, no padding on the body. What do we get? There we go. Nice. So we have a nice little login with Google button. We're going to click it. It's going to take us to log in with Google. Okay, so can the button have a to prop? Or do I need to put an anchor tag inside of it? API. href. Providing an href will render an element styled as a button. That's what I want. So this needs to go to http://localhost 3030/OAuth/Google. Like so. Click the button. Logs in with Google. And then we get redirected. Cool. So now we need to configure the client to actually use this token when the page loads. So let's do that. If we look at the Feathers docs for client authentication, we can do app.authenticate. If I pass in strategy GitHub, will that work? I don't know, but here's what we can do. Figbird, I believe, comes with a use feathers hook, and that gives us access to our feathers instance. So at the top level, we have our Figbird provider where we pass in the feathers client that we created. But now any component below that can do use feathers, and that will give us access to the actual feathers client, where we can then do things like authenticate or different things like that. So for this, I think we should probably use an effect, because it will attempt to either authenticate or re-authenticate. So, and we don't want that to run on every render. Use effect is going to allow us to run something basically when the component first loads. And so when the component first loads, we want to attempt to log in with feathers. And so we should be able to do feathers dot re. Let's try re-authenticate. I really don't know how the whole OAuth flow is going to work. Let's try it just like this. Then we logged in. Catch. Oh no. We'll throw in the error right here. Does this give us the user? Okay, let's try it. Oh no way! That's too easy. Oh my god. Holy crap. That's crazy. Okay, so let's just do this really quick. Let's just do feathers logout when this component loads, and then we'll try again. Cool. So now there is no user. And then if I run this code, it should say, oh no. Yeah, not authenticated. Cool. But check this out. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna click this. Click that. Ta-da! We logged in. That's exciting. Do we have some emojis in the chat? That's exciting. Hello, Ashwin from India. Welcome. Who says, can we use feathers for IoT applications? Yeah. So, I mean, if... It totally depends on what you're trying to do, but Feathers does support real-time via Socket.io or Primus. And if you're dealing with real-time messaging, it could potentially help with that. I know a lot of people have used, I think, RabbitMQ for like messaging of IoT devices. You could potentially integrate Feathers with that. It's possible. Tailwind is great, but yeah, Tailwind is really just individual styles. It's not like a framework. Google is red, Facebook is blue. Why am I saying this? I have no clue. Well done! Emojis in the chat. Yeah! Okay. Almost 3 hours to get here. So this is amazing. Okay, so now now that we've authenticated, I think we kind of need some top-down state. So like the app will have the main state, and it can hold on to the user. And so the login component, when a login is successful, it will pass the user back up to the app so that it can be passed down to any other component. I think we need to do that. So we could create our own custom context provider and consumer. So basically we could have some use state up at the top here, where we like create a user state and a set user function, and we pass that in as the initial state for a provider. And then lower down, like in this component, we could take in the consumer, which then, what do you call it? Can access the user or can call the set user function. In this case, we would call the set user function. Yeah, I think I want to do that. So there's a library for React hooks that I came across recently that gives you lots of cool stuff. So it integrates, I believe, like the use reducer hook with Redux dev tools automatically. You don't need Redux or anything like that. Let's just look for it. React hooks use reducer Redux dev tools. It's a library. It's like React reinspect. That's the one. Yeah, use Redux dev tools to inspect use state and use reducer. Cool. So that's one thing. But then there's a package, I believe, that's built on top of this that gives you, I think it's called use global. That's the one I want. React in. Is it React in? Is that the thing that I'm looking for? React, but with built-in global state management. And so this, I guess this would be the alternative to using a context provider and consumer, because use global would allow me to create some global state at the top that is like user, and then at a lower level component I can set the user. So I think this is the one that I want. Yeah, so we can set global, set the initial global state directly. Yeah, this is what I want. We're going to install React in. Emojis! Hello, Adam. Welcome to the stream. Is that a... Oh, it's an eagle. Cool. Finally, full stack with React hooks. We're doing it. Ryan is saying easy peasy state management is pretty simple to use. I've never heard of it. Easy peasy React. Vegetarian friendly state for React. Create the store. Use store. That's cool. I'm gonna use React in though. Hello, Shatan. Welcome to the stream. Slayer is asking what stack is used at my job. So we use React mainly on the front end and Node and Express on the back end. The database varies depending on the application, but we're pretty much a full stack JavaScript shop. Cool, and I'm pretty sure that use global uses reinspect under the hood, so we should get Redux logging. Okay. Oh, interesting. And now we actually import React from React in instead? What? It treats global state as if it were built into React itself without the boilerplate of third-party libraries. I think this is what I want. Let me just search their codebase for reinspect, and I think they automatically... No. Did I spell it right? Pretty sure. Reinspect.useState is injected to use global hook here. Oh, React extras. Okay, so maybe I didn't want React in, because I think React extras has some packages, which includes React hooks, I think. Use global hook. And then it's using reinspect. Maybe I'll have to install reinspect separately. Ugh, all these libraries. Okay. I think I do want to use React in, though. It has, okay, use global. So that lets you do set global. And then inside of a component, let's see. No, I don't want that. Set global. Oh, wow. Set global can accept a promise, and it will populate the global state with the result of that promise. That's crazy. And then use global will give you access to a particular thing. Do I want to use React in? I guess so. I already installed it. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so at my top level here, I'm going to import React and use global from React in. Not use global, set global. Okay, and then before my app spins up, we're gonna do set global. We're gonna say user is null, like so. And then we also want to use global, and right here we'll say const user comma set. Well, really we just want access to the user. We'll say use global with user. And we'll just do some conditional rendering. So if user is defined, then we'll say, just like an h1, hello. And we should be able to do user dot name, I guess? I don't know. But if that is not defined, then we want to show the login component. Like so. So on the page, we should see the login component. So actually, this is user.user.name. Well, you know what? I am just going to... No, I'm going to set this as the user, just the user object. So I should be able to do user.name. Okay, so if user is defined, we'll say hello user.name. Otherwise, show the login component. Now, in the login component, I also am going to use global. So right here, we will pull in, and we want use global from React in. We're going to use user, but we also want access to set user. And then if we are logged in, we're going to say set user with user.user. Otherwise, we stay on the login page. So now, when the login page loads, it's going to re-authenticate and then set the user. And then at the top level, we should just see hello. We won't see login anymore. Oh. Cool. This is pretty cool. Hooks are cool. Use get is defined but never used. Oh, you're right. We don't want that. For login, user is assigned a value but never used in login.js. Well, I mean, there's no way around that. Cool. But that does it. We are now logged in. we can make authorized requests. So let's just create another component. We'll call it map.js. Just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna copy and paste my login component. We don't need to do any of this anymore. And now. And this thing isn't going to set the user, it's just going to get access to the user, so we'll call this map. I guess technically we could give them a little logout button. Logout. Oh, this makes me think of another scenario though, because basically what we need to do is if the auth ever changes, we need to set user to null. So we'll tap into that. So let's say feathers equals use feathers, and then this button, whenever you click it, will log you out. If we look at the button docs, I'm sure it has an on-click function. Yeah, so we can just do when this button is clicked. Why is that there? That doesn't need to be there. When this button is clicked, we're just going to do feathers.logout, like that. And right here, we do have access to the user, which is on global state, but we should be able to say user.name And now our flex direction needs to be column. So they should be right on top of each other. We're not using an effect anymore. Oh, and now we want to use this map component. So in app.js, instead of showing this h1, we're going to show the map component like that, and we need to import it. Cool. Hello, Coding Garden. So we click log out. That technically logs the user out, but we need to be listening for when that happens so that we can redirect them back to the login page. Let's look at the Feathers stocks. I think there's something like client.on authentication changed. Let's see. Authentication client. There's got to be some way to listen for when auth changes. I mean, technically, what we could do, and maybe I'll just do this, is we also take in set user, and when they click log out, we actually call set user with null. Like that. That should do it. So now we can log in with Google. Hello, and then log out, which doesn't seem to work. There we go. I had to click it twice. We did get set user. Oh, it might have happened too fast. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay. Can we like inspect the state of all this? So if we look at map, use global, its context should have a user object. It's intense. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, it kind of works, but I don't think it happens in time. So like I click it, we see it happen for like a split second, but if I refresh the page, there is no longer a token. Oh well, this is perfect. This is perfectly fine for now. Let's get a map on the page. I think that's what we need to do is get a map on the page. Motivation is saying, I'm listening to your Domino's pizza video at the same time as your live stream. What happened to your red hat? It's not winter. It's getting cold, but when that video was recorded, it was actually pretty cold, so I used to wear a hat. Adam is saying, why you're not using React context? Because I don't really have to. So under the hood, Figbird is using a context, and under the hood, I believe use global is using a context. And so I don't have to create a context of my own. These packages are doing all that under the hood, and it all kind of just works. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited at how simple that code is. Oh, I see. Easy peasy, which was mentioned earlier, is a wrapper around Redux. Omar is asking, is volunteer remote software engineer a thing? Like if I email a company inside my country that I need to work for free as a volunteer, they might accept it. I'm sure anybody would like someone to work for free. It seems more of like that would be more of like an intern position, but Yeah, I don't see why not. You could reach if there's a particular company that you do want to work for, you might just say, "Hey, I'm looking to get experience. I don't want to get paid. Is there somehow that I could come on as a and come on to your company and work for free?" Maybe. I don't know. Hmm. Redirect or refresh after deleting the token. Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, and I don't have routing set up either. I guess we should set up routing. I mean, I guess I have basic, like, this is my router right here. You're either logged in or not. Um, but I could do something really silly, like uh, window.location.href equals, like, just do a full page refresh. Like, log out. Boom. That works. I'm okay with that. Cool. Um, all right. Yeah, I'm not going to use a router because we're just going to have one map. That's it. Okay, so let's... Should we get the map? Yeah, let's get the map going because it's more visual. What map should we use? I've used... what's it called? Leaflet? Let me clean up these tabs. That's for removing EXIF data. Feathers docs we can come back to. Docker stuff. Oh wait, was that Bootswatch? Yeah, we'll leave that open. There's React in. Okay, we'll look at Leaflet.js. I think mapbox is another one that I've heard of. React components for mapbox GL.js. Made by Uber. Let's look at some examples. Markers and pop-ups. This is pretty much what we're going to do. So like on the map, you're going to see a marker. When you look at this, they wrote the code for us. When you click it, but potentially like you won't see all the markers on the map, but you'll only see the ones that are near you. No, we'll see all the markers. But if you click one and you're not within the given range to view that image, you'll see a message that says you are not within range. You must be within X miles of this marker to view the image. We're building like a Snapchat kind of thing that works this way. Cool. So this is nice. And it actually looks really cool too. I like the dark theme. Custom cursor. Look at that. Draggable marker. GeoJSON? Ooh, nice colors. Locate user. I'm not going to click that. Limit the map interaction. Drag pan. Yeah, so now you can't drag. This is cool. I really like this. Okay. How do I use it? Documentation. React Map GL is a suite of React components for Mapbox GL.js, a WebGL-powered vector and raster tile mapping library. Cool. So, getting started. We install it. And then you just add it. The current Mapbox GL release requires the style sheet to be included at all times. You may add the style sheet to the head of your page. Okay, so this is a specific Mapbox CSS. Mapbox tokens. Yeah, this is the thing to ask or to wonder. Like, does Mapbox cost money? Do I need to sign up to get an API key or what? Products, maps. Get started. Yeah, Google, and that's why I didn't default to using Google Maps. They charge money now. I think for low use apps, it's still free, but people are looking for alternatives. Can you show me pricing, please? Pricing. Generous free tier. Start for free. Every product has a meaningful free tier, so you can sign up and build without friction. Map loads for web, up to 50,000 map loads for free. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's sign up. Sign up. All right, I'm gonna hide my screen while I sign up. Okay, so I signed up. I have a public token. I guess I'll verify my email real quick. It didn't ask me to. Huh, weird. Okay, so it's giving me a default public token. Create an access token. Choose a name to help associate it with a project. Okay, we'll call this Snap Garden. Tile styles read, fonts read, datasets read, vision read. What? I don't want to read datasets. Okay. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I clicked on create token. I'm naming it Snap Garden. Restrict this token to specific URLs. Okay, for now, http //localhost 3000. Will that work? Yeah. And then I'll click create token. Confirm my password. I don't know what I don't know what password I just typed in. Figured it out. Cool. So that gave me a token. I'm gonna copy the token. And now I guess I use it on the web. Select a method for installing mapbox GL.js. Use the mapbox CDN, use a module bundler. Let's use the CDN. Include the GL.js JavaScript and CSS files in the head of your HTML. So I'll do that. I think I just need to include the CSS because that's what this thing was saying. Yeah, include the CSS because the React map GL includes that stuff. So let's do this. In my public index.html, I'm going to include the styles. Let's go ahead and change the name to Snap Garden. Is it Snap Garden or is it Garden Snap? Snap Garden. And then let's try installing React Map GL. Okay. It installed. So let's try it. Let's just get a map on the page. So we have some state. We'll update this to use hooks. Let's see. Okay, so we definitely want to import React Map GL. So if we go to our map component, honestly, I might create a header, and that's where I put the logout button, like up at the top. Okay. But I do need to import React Map GL. And then we're going to need some state. Like that. And so we need to bring in use state. And so I'll say const viewport set viewport equals use state, and we'll pass in that initial object. Cool. Let's just move this to the top. Okay. And then now we need a map. Let's just comment out this stuff for now. And we're going to just spread viewport, not this.state.viewport, so just viewport. And then when viewport changes, we don't have to do this.setState, we just say set viewport with viewport. All right, will we get a map? What do you think? Where are we? Where's my app? I guess I closed it. No token warning. For information on setting up your base map, read note on maps. Okay, so we do need to set up the token that I created. So about mapbox tokens. Cool, you can provide it in the URL. Display maps without a mapbox token. Oh, I guess I could use a different tile source. I'm not going to do that though. Mapbox API access token, and then you pass in the token. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I can do that right here, and then I'll just use an environment variable. Wait, set the mapbox access token environment variable. So that's. Can I just set it? I think create React app comes with .env by default. Create React app .env file. Adding custom environment variables. Process.env. Okay. So let's just create a .env file. Then we're gonna have mapbox access token equals something like that. And we'll create a sample. And then the sample will just be empty. And in the get ignore, we need to ignore .env. Yeah, it looks like it's ignoring other things too, but yeah. And then in my .env, I can put my actual mapbox access token. So let's do that. Hide my screen. I'm doing a really good job of not exposing API keys. I say that now. My account. Did I get the right token? Okay, so I've set that environment variable. No API keys are showing. Now I'm going to kill the React app and restart it, and hopefully it pulls in that environment variable. Let me hide my screen for a second. Let's just see if it actually works. So in the map, when it renders, I'm just going to log process.env. And I hid my token, so that should be okay. Yeah, node.env development public URL. Okay, so it's not picking up my custom environment variables. We need to fix that. Oh, do I need to I think I need to prefix it with React app. That feels like a thing that happens. Didn't expose my API key. Okay. So if we kill it, restart it. There it is. Sweet. React app mapbox access token. It's weird that it has to be prefixed with React app though. I'm gonna go ahead and say that that needs to happen. Okay, I'm gonna hide my screen, put my real API key in there. What? Okay, here we go again. Got my API key. And though technically I think this is like a public API key. Because it's going to be in my deployed app anyways, but regardless, I don't want to expose it. Okay. So I'm not going to log process.env. I think what I'm just going to do is oh, actually let's see if it works first. No, it doesn't. So what I need to do is pass in mapbox API access token equals token. So I'm going to do that equals process.env.react app underscore mapbox access token. Like so. Are we ready? What? Oh, do I need to restart it? Ta-da! It works. We have a map on the page. That's so great. Okay. Can we set the width and height to be a percentage? Sweet. And then on window resize, it probably needs to resize. But yeah, we got ourselves a map. Dope. All right. Matt from NYC, or Matt NYC says, and hello Matt, says, I have a question. So I have a technical interview for a SD position. Do you have any tips on how to answer questions confidently? If I happen to not know what to answer, what can I say? What is SD? Software development? Cool. So I know that interviews can be extremely stressful, and especially like if you're a nervous person, it's almost like you're not yourself when you're in that interview. So yeah, but if you happen to not know an answer, it's okay to say that you don't know. But what you want to avoid is just saying literally, I don't know. Next question, please. Because you kind of want to talk around the subject. Like, for one, you don't want to BS. Like, if you don't know something, say straight up, like, I don't know this for sure, but this is my experience with that. You can also ask like clarifying questions if you completely don't understand what they're even asking. It's like, do you mean, and if they're nice, they'll try to clarify for you. But yeah, it's okay to say I don't know, but my advice is to be able to back that up with, okay, I don't know the answer to this question exactly, but in my experience, I've done this or I've done that. Is that what you're talking about? Sometimes you just absolutely don't know. But I think that's one of the biggest turnoffs for interviewers is if someone just says, I don't know, one after another, and they don't elaborate on that. I don't get to see your thought process. I don't get to see how you handle when you don't know things. So yeah, hopefully that helps. That was pretty rambly. Yeah, ask the interviewer to explain it to me. That's totally fine. You can say, can you expand on that a little bit. I'm not exactly clear on what you're asking. And if they explain more and you still don't know, then you can just say, I don't know. Yeah. So if the interviewer is talking about their experience, connect it with your own. Ask him to talk about himself a lot. That's what you see. Like, people like to talk about themselves. I kind of don't like to talk about myself, but I think if I'm put in that situation and I don't realize it's happening, I'll probably talk about myself. But yeah, if you can ask the interviewer questions and get them talking, that's a good sign or a good thing. Raul says, this is probably a silly question. When they say map loads, do they mean it is counted with every refresh? So I'm a user and I refresh my map page 5 times. I think so. From what I was reading, it was essentially anytime a client loads the JavaScript library, or I think loads the CSS, that counts as one map load. We can clarify on their website, but I think that's what it means. Yeah. Hey now! No, I think this is totally allowed, Matt. And that's a good way to put it. I don't think I'm familiar with that. Can you provide some insight or some more detail? Yeah. Joshua is saying, how long does it take for the token to activate? It was active immediately. It was just a matter of figuring out how to get the token in, because here's how I read things. So we can close that now. But when I read this line, it says, so there are several ways to provide a token to your app. Set the mapbox access token environment variable. So my understanding is if I just did that, we'd be good to go. However, that didn't work. Provided in the URL, I'm only loading the CSS from a CDN. I'm not loading the JavaScript from a CDN. And then this one, pass it as a prop. So what I ultimately had to do was a combination of this. So pass it as a prop and use the environment variable. But yeah. All right. State management. Interactive map is designed to be a stateless component. Its appearance is entirely controlled by the properties that are passed in from its parent. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what's happening. See that. Adding custom data, native mapbox layers, overlays, built-in overlays, third-party overlays, advanced. Cool. Let's try to put a marker on the map. So I think we can do that right here. I need to import marker. Oh, wow. It's literally the text, you are here. That's awesome. I guess you can just put like an image inside of it and it'll pop up there. Styling. Yeah. I'm curious what they were using in their example for like markers and pop-ups. Yeah, let's view the code. Examples. I guess it's in controls. Source. So they're importing city pin. City pin, they're specifying a size, and then there's a pop-up. Let's look at their city pin. It's literally an SVG. And that's the marker. Cool. I guess we could get like a little, let's let's do this. So instead of saying you are here, what if we did just like a span with a camera emoji? Like that. Look at that. kind of cut off, but like we can make it way bigger. That's awesome. It's too easy. Okay. Yeah, let's do some inline styles. Font size. 10 rem. Nice. It's not like relative to the map size though, which is unfortunate. Oh, we could do I guess we could do zoom level. Yeah, let's do viewport.zoom times some value. Times 0.5. That whole thing with rem on the end of it. Yeah, so it gets smaller as you zoom out and then bigger as you zoom in. Look at that. Okay, at this point I'm just wasting time. And you know what? I've been streaming for over 3 hours. We got a basic app. We can log in. And we have a map. I will continue this soon, but I think I gotta go. Yeah. Yeah, there's some APIs that take a while. This one was instant. Hello, friend. Hello, Robin. Welcome. Response: I don't know, but why didn't you tell me about it? That could work too. But you also want to phrase it in a way that, like, yes, you're curious, or you know a little bit about it, but you don't know the exact answer. But yeah. Dimitri is saying, would you expose your client environment variables when you deploy, since you can check the network tab? Yeah, absolutely. So, and I believe this token I'm using is a public token anyways. But yes, you're absolutely right. When I deploy this thing, it's a front-end app, so that map token is gonna go with it. However, when I signed up, when I created that token, I set right now that it can only work on localhost 3000, but when I deploy this thing, I'll create a token that'll only work on whatever domain that I deploy it to. Cool. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I did not get as far as I thought I would. However, I am very excited about Use Global, Figbird, which, I mean, we haven't really seen what it can do yet, but it seems super easy to use. We're able to like use these hooks to log a user in. It's easy. The OAuth just works. Like, here, let me put that login button back. Okay, before I go, let me add a nav bar from Bootstrap. With a logout button. Navbar bg equals dark. So I'm gonna do this on the map page. So navbar brand, Snapgarden. And then we need to import navbar from React Bootstrap. What happens? Failed to compile. We need a fragment. That's definitely a navbar. Why does this scroll? Okay, so we really only want the height to be like, I don't know, 80%? It's probably too little. That's fine though. Cool, so we've got that, and then I want to put this button over on the right hand side so that the user can log out. Let's look at the Bootstrap docs. Isn't there a way to like pull right or something like that? Navbar toggle. Placement. Oh. I guess if I did fix top, then the map will be underneath it. Yeah. And then I could keep it as 100%. 100%. Yeah, then we don't get any weird scrolling issues. It's just behind the nav bar. Cool. I'm looking for like how to put something on the right-hand side of the nav bar, but margin right auto. Margin left auto? I don't know. Throw this button here. Oh man. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I need to get that button back. That button. There we go. Fixed top. Throw a nice little button right there. What do we get? Easy enough. And this should still be 100%. Cool. Yeah, so we got ourselves a map. We may need to resize it on window resize, but we can log out. If we log in, we can log in with Google. And then we get ourselves a map. 3.5 hours. I mean, I've technically been coding for like 2.5 hours because we thought of ideas for like an hour, but I'm okay with that. Gonna use this code to change spin size. You're welcome, Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Mr. Taylor is asking, when am I going to do another Vue.js live stream? I don't really know. I don't really have anything scheduled. I felt like building something with React hooks. Today, we obviously didn't get to build very much, but it was cool to use this global state, to use Figbird, Feathers. Like, this app is going to be surprisingly easy. Like, we still have to be able to create and upload images and all that good stuff, but I can foresee this being very easy to implement these features, given that we have access to all these little things. Cool. Hello, Alvi. I'm ending the stream anyways, but maybe you can watch the restream. Waiting for the bus. Does that mean you're about to go to work? I guess you're like 12 hours ahead of me or so, I think. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna head off. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Look below the video so you can buy one of these super awesome t-shirts or one of these super awesome mugs. And yeah, wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.